morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you another epic battle in my epic battle series. This epic battle was orchestrated by Hamdog CDXX, and he will be doing a version of it as well on his channel. So this is the Siege of Kiev. It takes place in 1240 AD, and basically it's between the Mongols and the Kievian Rus being at the Siege of Kiev. And basically, numbers are unsure about how many Mongols crossed over into Kievian territory, but they guess that the numbers are somewhere between 35,000 and 80,000 men.
The enemy settlement burns!
Yes, the enemy settlement is ablaze. Now, probably not all of them were present in this siege. It was probably closer to about 35 or 40,000 men. However, the defenders historically only had 1,000 men to their at their disposal to defend the city, and the Mongol leader was actually not really looking forward to attacking this city. It was a very, very beautiful city. It had lots of wealth and splendor. The architecture was great, so he actually sent some emissaries to try to see if the Kievian Rus would just surrender the city without a fight. But those emissaries were actually slain by the Kievian commander. Now, his name, I probably can't pronounce it very well, but it's Voivode Dmytro was the military commander. So, yeah, he slew the Mongol emissaries, and thus it started a 6-day battle for the city. And the bombardment phase lasted, I believe, 3 to 4 days, and then the actual battle in the streets lasted 2 days. So you can see that we're moving forwards here. I've got it on slow motion. We'll go ahead and take a look at the army compositions, and then we'll get the battle underway. Now, looking at the numbers, it's not historically accurate. We've got about 5,300 men versus 4,200 defenders. Looking at my army first, I've got Tiala as my general. And then I have 2 units of these Mongol heavy lancers of the early period. And then everybody on the attackers was allowed to bring 3 catapults, so I've got 3 of them. And then I have 4 units of Turkish archers, which they look pretty cool. And historically, there were some Turkish levies that were present with the Mongol Horde. And then I brought 4 units of these siege swordsmen. I thought that they were pretty, it was a pretty fitting unit, considering we are in a siege battle. And then I think I have 6 units of dismounted Drazina. So, very, very heavy infantry. And I've got my ladders. According to Hamdog, I don't believe that siege towers were used in this battle, so we have ladders and rams. So that's pretty much all my armies. I'm kind of going to just collectively look at my 2 allies over here. They also are playing as the Mongols. One of them bringing some mercenary Genoese crossbowmen, so interesting choice there. Going for the crossbows instead of the archers. And then pretty much my 2 allies just brought a ton of dismounted Drazina for their infantry. No siege swordsmen on their side, but a couple of units of spears. Go ahead and take a look at them. Got the Galician Volanian infantry, but that sounds like a Rus unit, so it's possible some Rus mercenaries here present today. And then each of my allies brought 1 unit of handgunners. These guys look amazing. Very good modeling. I especially love this guy here. He's even got a mustache on his little head plate there. That looks really cool. And each of them bringing 2 units of cav, and then their generals are over here. One is Keshik, and the other is just a regular general. So we're pretty much moving forwards here. You can see that we're already starting to fire into the infantry that's holding up there on the walls. A lot of dead from these handgunners. I would probably move them back if I was the attacker, or sorry, if I was the defenders. Down to 57 already. But we're not going to sit around there because we're going to take a look at the defenders. So they've pretty much got mirror armies as well. We got some Sudal spearmen here. There's a ton of those kicking around. And a lot of dismounted northern boyars. And there's some dismounted boyar sons for their archers. More northern boyars over there. We got one of the generals coming down. They're all Khan's Guard. Yeah, Northern Boyars, probably some more Pseudo Spearmen. Some Boyar Sons, so pretty much all the same. Oh, here we go. We got some Rus Guard Axemen present. Which way are they facing here? These guys look pretty sweet with the really heavy axes. Not as heavy as the Birdish Axemen, but I think just one tier below. And then way down here, I think they've got 2 units of Birdish Axemen, which, as you guys know from watching my channel, are my most favorite unit in the game, or in this mod. These Birdish Axemen, they just look amazing. They look like executioners. Really, really awesome. That is, every time I'm playing as the Kievian Rus, I definitely have at least 2 units of them. And then we got some crossbows over here. We got some urban crossbow militia, and then 1 catapult for the defenders. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. So I'm a little bit more cautious. I'm going to put that on play there. I'm kind of staying away because there's an arrow tower here. So I want to make sure that I can, you know, move up as a whole. But my ally is going right for it. You can see he's already starting to break this unit here of Northern Boyars. Yeah, there they go. Already breaking in this battle. So I think he really skirmished them down very well and then managed to push in and break them. You can see on this side we've also got some Northern Boyars breaking. Over here it's pretty much the same story. Oh, look at all this blood. I think it's mostly from the archer fire as well. They got some of those Genoese crossbowmen firing. And there's the ladders. You can see the men pouring over the walls as well. Very, very awesome to see. It was pretty well coordinated of an attack from our standpoint. We were all pretty much on the same page, which is good. So that battle is pretty much underway. We've even got some of the dismounted Drazina way over here. And then, I don't know if this was a misclick or not, but he went to send out a unit of Pseudo Spearmen. I can't really tell which defender this is. So I'm rushing up some of my Siege Swordsmen, as you can see there. That's a pretty cool shot. These Siege Swordsmen are really deadly. I've never actually used Mongol infantry, and the ones that kind of look more like Mongol infantry, they're just garbage. So we couldn't really, you know, bring the classic Mongol army type build, but these Siege Swordsmen, they definitely told their weight. So yeah, it looks like a bit of disarray over here. Some of the archers trying to scramble for a better position. We've got the Pseudo Spearmen pulling back from the walls. I think they realize that they're pretty much out of position. Oh, yeah, getting some good hits, though, on our infantry as they push forwards. The dismounted Drazina are not going to slow down, though. They're going to push right in. And there we go. It looks like they're still going to try to pull away their infantry. They don't want all of these men caught into melee down here. Which is, I don't know, that was probably a good decision, but him not making it sooner has cost him, you know, probably 20 or 30 men. And especially in this unit, too, lost 20 men, and they're still trying to retreat. Meanwhile, I've got my Siege Swordsmen following up. They're getting hit pretty hard, though, by archer fire and the arrow tower as well. But I'm kind of curling over on this side. I'm going to be taking out this tower over on this flank. And I've got my cav kind of moving around to where my allies' cav is. The reason for that is because, for those of you guys that don't know about this map, there's actually a road that you can get right into the city without the use of siege equipment. But one of the defenders is aware of this as well, so he's got some Pseudo Spearmen here to block. And looks like they were trying to break down the gate over here, but the Galician infantry has broken. And now we've got some Birdish Axemen out here fighting cav. Interesting. Oh, it looks like these heavy lancers actually dismounted. And it looks like the spears came back from routing, so they're going to flank around. So these Birdish Axemen are going to be fighting on both fronts, but they're a really sturdy unit, so I still think that they have the upper hand in this engagement. We could probably know for sure. Yeah, combat is even for them, so they've already broken the spears. Let's jump over to the other side of the battle. That's where most of the action is happening. You can see that we have already engaged over here with a lot of infantry, about 3 units or so, pushing forwards against these Rus spearmen. And we got the Sudal spearmen in right behind. Let's go ahead and turn off the HUD here. These choke points are going to be a little bit difficult to take out, though. And over here, it's pretty much the same story. Some more choke point fighting. I think I have my siege swordsman over here. So we're not doing too bad. I have to be careful not to funnel too many units into these little choke point streets here. We've got some archers over here, some crossbow militia, but I'm going to utilize all my archers and focus down on them. Yeah, you can see the fire already starting to come in. I did turn them off fire arrows just because there's not really any need to be firing into these crossbows with fire arrows. But the crossbows are at a disadvantage here because they don't really have a good shot. So when they have to fire over top of buildings like this, they're really inaccurate. So that's why my archers will kind of win the engagement here for me, especially since I'm using 4 units to 1. So that's looking good. Let's look over in the center over here, see how this ally is doing. Not too bad. We've actually got some spears fighting our crossbows out the walls here, but it looks like he's sending some dismounted Drazina to support that. And then over here we've kind of got some Sudal spearmen that are wavering. And then right behind it we've got some dismounted Drazina that is pushing back the northern boyars. Looks like he's doing a tactical retreat there, leaving one of the units to save another. Yeah, those spears have broken. Oh, there's a lot of arrow fire coming down in here, though. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little difficult for you guys to tell who's who, just because most of the infantry, you know, the dismounted Drazina is traditionally a Rus unit, so basically you just kind of have to tell where the battle line is for who's facing one way and who's facing the other. Oh, you can hear the arrows just slamming into the armor, though. That's gross. Yeah, it looks like the crossbows managed to break those spears, so that's good. Got some more northern boyars fighting over here against the Drazina. Oh, yes, and I did run my cav up here, but this was just an absolute slaughter. He had his crossbows on the walls very smartly. And, yeah, my cav is just getting destroyed. I am wasting his ammo, though, which is good. And I did get a decent charge into these spears. But at this point, really, you know, I might as well leave them in melee, because if I pull them out, they're just going to get peppered down by the crossbows anyways. So just leave them in melee against the spears. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there goes the Mongol heavy lancers. Oh, and we've even got some of the Rus cav kind of just scaring them off. Yeah, and it looked like my ally was pushing up his cav over here, but I told him to pull back because it was just a slaughter. It was a trap. So well done there by the defenders. Let's take a look at the man count. 4,000 to 3,000. So not much has changed. It's pretty much still where it was before. I am routing those crossbows, which is excellent, and they're starting to get pretty depleted over here. You can see that I've done the catapult tactic. So I've got 3 units of catapults, and I figured why not use them to their fullest potential. So as soon as they were out of ammo, what I've done with my catapult crew is if you have a couple of units from the enemy that are holding shield wall, if you push the catapults into the shield wall, it kind of disrupts their formation, and it allows for your units to kind of get in between and break up that defense. And yeah, it looks like the spears are already breaking. I will try to focus them with my archers just to make sure that they stay broken. Yeah, I think most of the infantry is retreating at this point. A couple of them have like arrows in their shoulders. So yeah, we're doing really well in the center here. You can see a lot of their infantry is broken, and my allies actually got infantry in behind. Unfortunately, though, they're just getting ripped apart by these archers that are on the walls. That was really frustrating to see, you know, these units just running in range of the archers and just getting slaughtered. Oh, man. Oh, so many casualties over here. Like, look how many, I think, yeah, they've got 3 on this side, and then they've got, yeah, 3 more units of, or 4 more units of archers in behind. They got a crossbow unit here. They've got 2 archer units over here, so, like, this is a tough defense. Hundreds of lives are going to be lost to arrow fire alone over here. Looks like some good cavalry charging is starting to break this defense with the Drazina as well. One unit is hanging on, but the other one has broken. Yeah, and here comes my other catapult as well. I'm pushing them up to the other side to aid my allies, and it actually worked out in my favor because, not knowing, I think that all of their archers were on fire at will, and they wasted like 4 or 5 volleys into this unit of artillery crew, so I was really happy to see that. I don't know if we can catch that here. Yeah, here comes all the arrows to take out the artillery crew. Not really even getting that many kills either. These guys are like showing their biceps. They think they're the jackedest guys in the world. That's so funny. Oh, and there's a couple, whoops. This guy's like struggling on the ground. Yeah, look at them. And actually a lot of the arrow fire is being blocked by the engine themselves. So that's pretty good. That's insane. But, oh yeah, here we go. We've got some Cav coming to finish them off. Oh, a lot of friendly fire, though, with those archers. They have to be careful with that. Let's go ahead and jump out of the Cav engagement there. Kind of see, yeah, so look at this amount of infantry that's just kind of pulled back to the final stand. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's all of their infantry, so they pretty much relinquished the entire city in about 12 minutes. So they pulled back to the little keep. They do have a couple of units over here that are holding, but I'm going to bring up my archers to pick away at that defense, put them on heavy shot. I'm in no hurry to attack and waste more lives here. Down to 3,600 to 25, so still about 1,000-man advantage, which it's been about the entire time. So, attackers or defenders, neither one doing, you know, exceptionally well over the other. I had my archers over here. I was trying to attack some of those northern boyars, but unfortunately I'm in range of that OP arrow tower. But it looks like my ally is going to send up his handgunners. I think this is a mistake just because they have very poor missile block chance, so they're just going to be sent to their deaths against that arrow tower. And if they get in range of all of those archers, it's pretty much game over for these guys. And their range sucks, so they're going to have to get super close to, you know, even be of any use. We got some artillery fire coming from the catapult that's in the final stand. Ooh, you can hear the exploding pots on the infantry in behind. Yeah, getting some direct hits there. Oh, the gunners are firing, though. Looks like. Firing point blank into those northern boyars. Looks like they're going to push down and try to scare them off. That's actually a good tactic, just because now they're going to be peppered with arrow fire as they run away. And that is a very expensive unit, so you don't want to be throwing them away too needlessly. Yeah, there goes all the arrows into this defense. And it looks like the Kievian Rus realizes that they're just going to be picked apart, so they're going to actually break their formation and charge my shield wall. So now the attackers become the defenders, but I much rather favor this, where I can get a good shield wall. I've got some good peppering fire down as they charge in. Here they go. Nice. You can hear the Mongol rally just going crazy as well. I think these two units of Rus infantry were already tired because they were in a previous engagement, and I think they had already broken once. So I definitely have the upper hand here, especially with them attacking my shield wall like that. I just love this mod. It's just so beautiful. Oh, here I come again with my catapults being extra annoying, kind of pushing them back, breaking their formation. I actually get right through here just because they weren't really in shield wall. Yeah, and you can see how it really does work against their morale. You can see that their morale is gone now. They're starting to waver. So breaking up their formation like that is a really, really good strategy. I would hope that more people use that in sieges, but I really never see many people doing it. All my Turkic archers are waiting here, waiting for the final stand. I'm trying to conserve as much of my ammo as possible. Over here, though, we're not doing as well against the center, but I do have a decent amount of infantry still left here. Not super healthy. I've got a couple of units of siege swordsmen and dismounted Drazina. And over here, my ally still got a couple of fresh units as well. He's trying to get his crossbows up over here. But unfortunately, like I said, crossbows are at a disadvantage when they have to fire in an upward arc. And these archers are just going to have a field day. It was good of my allies to save some of their ammo on those catapults, though. Yeah, see, they're just firing right down at those crossbows. The Genoese crossbows, they do guard themselves with their shield when they reload those, so that might kind of give them the edge. There's a lot of arrow fire going on. I was just waiting to see if those, when those catapults would run out of ammo. Looks like they have now, so we'll kind of assess what damage they've done here. I think they were firing for the enemy's catapults, so they did manage to get 2 of them, which is good. And looks like some urban crossbow militia are broken, but all these archers are still pretty fresh. The only good thing is that they're wasting a lot of ammo, and they surprisingly are not getting many kills on the crossbows. Oh, but here we go. Looks like we're charging some depleted units up against the spears. And here come the British axemen with a downhill charge. Oh, that is going to be deadly. It's probably just going to break these units of dismounted Drazina very quickly. But it's good that they've already pushed in their dismounted Drazina, just because of the fact that that must mean that they're running low on infantry. Now, keep in mind, when we were actually playing this battle, we don't really see, you know, the entire battlefield, so we don't know how much infantry is left and which choke points they're still holding. So when I saw the British Axemen going in, I was like, okay, this might not be too bad, because they must not have much more infantry. Just for me with my British Axemen, really, it's kind of, you know, one of the units that I tend to send in last. Or if I can get a really good flank with them, then I will. But yeah, so we're already assaulting the final stand here. And you can see I broke an arrow tower over there. Now I'm pushing my swords over against these Sudal spearmen. So here they come. These spears are in spear wall, though, so it's going to help them hold against my swords. And there we go. So the battle for the keep has begun. You can see there's already some fresh infantry ready to go in behind. So if we take another look at what is left, it's slowly starting to creep more in our favor. It's still 3,000 men to 2,000 men, though. It's still, you know, a 1,000-man advantage. And it has been the entire battle, but looks like they got some Rus Guard Axemen over here, and some archers. Got some Northern Boyars and spears holding this flank. But really, that's it. The rest is just archers, pretty much. And except for this main pack of infantry over here, the British Axemen already down to half strength. So I think that was thanks to these crossbows and my archers that were just firing down on them the entire time. Yeah, there's a nice clump of the British Axemen right there. Whoa! That couple of guys flying across the battlefield there. Oh, wow. Are they breaking or pulling back? Oh, what? Yeah, the British Axemen are breaking at this point. Oh, that is really tough to see. But looks like they've got some Northern Boyars that they're sending down, and another fresh unit of dismounted Northern Boyars are ready to guard again. And I'm sending in my my very healthy unit of siege swordsmen. I was gonna say fully healthed, but that's not a word at all. Oh, and he's firing against my other two units of dismounted Drazina. These two are pretty much up to full strength as well. And I've got them in shield wall. Like I said, I don't want to dump too much of my infantry in at one time. And I'm very wary of these crossbows that are sitting up on the walls here. You can see that they're just wrecking my my archers, my Turkic archers. But here I go again. I got my artillery crew to push in the catapults to break that formation. But nice positioning by these archers up here. Again, getting some good volleys into my infantry. My siege swordsmen are starting to waver, which is not good for me. But we've still got some infantry over here. I was telling this ally to kind of, you know, he needs to be charging in and pushing on this flank as well, because see what's happening is he's not engaging over here, so they keep funneling in more of their infantry that they had for this choke point. They're just going to move it over against my infantry and my other allies' infantry over here. And I'm, at this point, running very low on men, so I have to be extremely careful. Looks like one of the Khan's guard is coming down. Or he's just going to sit on this slope. I'm not sure what he plans to do. But he's in range of the crossbows, so he's going to have to be very careful. Ooh. Yeah, he's getting peppered down. British Axemen looks like they rallied, so they're pulling back as well. Of course, they're moving over to this side against my infantry, which is super annoying. I'm so low on men, and I just saw those British Axemen coming, and there's another unit of Sudal spears over here. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. But just look at this battle. This was my favorite choke point of the battle, just because of the sheer number of men just packed into this little tight space. You can hear the archers just thwacking against the chainmail. There you go. If you zoom in, you can see the spears and the axes of the Rus warriors. Oh my goodness, it's relentless. The arrow fire just does not stop. This would be terrifying. Look how thin my infantry is getting already. Look at that. Just look at the river. The river of blood. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I think I'm rushing forward to my last 2 units. These are my last 2 units of infantry. 10 minutes left in the battle. The only other infantry I have over here is very, pretty depleted and fighting in this choke point. I've got my General Talea. He's trying to keep order on the battlefield. A lot of his men, you can see, are starting to kind of, the morale's not the best if we turn on the HUD here. Yeah, it's 54, so that's not too bad. This unit is 30, though, so it's, they're starting to get they're starting to get the rally from the general, but I just need my troops to stay from breaking. I can't have them breaking. What's the man count now? 2,000 to 1,500. Okay, so it's actually getting closer, which is not a good thing. We want that man count to be getting farther and farther away, but it's those archers, guys. The archers were just... They were murderers, pretty much, in my books. Got some cav charging up the slope, though. Finally, we're engaging on this flank. So the cav was able to rush around and engage these Sudal spearmen. He does have a couple of units there as well, so hopefully he'll be able to break them, quite easily. And then he's finally pushing forwards his infantry, so now we're attacking on all fronts, which is excellent. He charged in with the cav, which is great, and then he's going to follow it up with the infantry. And these archers are almost out of ammo, so I guess all in all, it wasn't a badly timed assault. Yeah, 34 for the morale on these Sudal spearmen. Hopefully they'll break. Got a couple of archer units over here as well, holding down the fort. Looks like the Khan's Guard getting slaughtered here, though. That's one of the generals gone. So that's one. We've got a second general over here. And then we have a third general engaged over on this flank as well. And he's also very depleted. But as far as I know, all 3 of our generals are still alive. And there goes, I believe that's this general that's dead? Or maybe not. Maybe it was the other one that was trying to retreat. At this point, I think my catapult crew is completely slaughtered, so there'll be no more pushing the catapults into the Kievian Rus forces. This Khan's Guard must almost be dead here. Down to 11 men. Meanwhile, I've got like 1 fresh unit, 1 3/4 unit, and 1 half unit. Over here, we're again making good progress. Looks like another tactical retreat by this player over on this flank. Pulling back his Northern Boyars, pulling back his Druzina. But see what I mean? Like, this Sudal infantry was on the other flank, so now it's here again to be able to kind of, be a support where it needs it most. Looks like we got some cav over here as well. I'm not sure, but it looks like there's going to be a charge here, so let's kind of jump down and zoom in, take a look at this charge. They are in spear walls, so it might not be, really effective. But, oh, it looks like they're going to countercharge into the cavalry. Interesting. I would have stayed behind that spear wall if I was them. Oh, a couple of the horses getting kind of shreked there. But, yeah, he did start to waver a couple of the units, which is good. And more volleys from the crossbows coming in. Here comes my infantry. They're going to be pushing to the final slope here. Yeah, look at their morale. Their morale is just starting to crumble. And now I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the balance of power. It's 1,400 to 1,000 though, so still we aren't able to, you know, kind of get a decent advantage here. Now, whose general was that? I think that was this ally over here. He charged his general. Nope, that's the Khan's Guard. Whose general died just now? We've got one over there. We've got my general, Tala, over here. Or Talea. I don't know where that is. Yeah, that's the Khan's Guard. Huh, so I don't know where his general is. It must have died somewhere, though, because I only see 2 generals left. I've got my general, and then there's this other general, Kashik, over here. But I think the Rus are down to 1 general as well.
Men are broken and running for their lives.
And, yeah, my infantry is pretty much dead at this point. On this flank, anyways. And we've got some crossbows moving up. We got some more dismounted Drazina. Oh, it looks like my infantry steadied, but now they're wavering again. Oh, the morale's just pitiful at this point. Well, it looks like we're starting to take the square. I don't exactly know how that's possible. But here we go. We got another general pushing up against these archers. I'm actually surprised that these boy are sons here. These archers are really, really hardy. They held for quite a while. Because my Turkic archers just broke like almost immediately. But they are northern boyars after all, I guess. They're pretty much dismounted Drazina as far as infantry, and they carry a bow, so really cost effective. There we go. Looks like the general's bodyguard is trying to push forwards. So yes, it looks like it's coming down to the last 4 minutes of the battle. Oh, we've got the general moving forwards. I was somehow managed to break all that infantry over here, but then I just get a face full of general's bodyguard. Just destroying that unit as I pulled them up the ramp there. And that was really frustrating to see after all that my poor men have gone through. These poor Mongols, they just want to take your town and slaughter your inhabitants. I don't know what's the big deal. But luckily this general bodyguard is taking, a decent amount of damage against my archers, or sorry, against my infantry. But one of the units is breaking, but I've pulled a couple of those Khan's Guard off their horses. And we've got some heavy Mongol lancers now. These are going to be the death blow. They're just going to finish off all of these archers that are kind of sitting here. Yeah, good charge. But again, these guys are boyar sons. They will hold. Looks like the general's bodyguard is going to try to escape. I tried to cut him off with my swordsman, but he managed to pull out with about 12 men in his unit. So he is running out of the keep. He's basically the only one that survived. We've got one unit of boyar sons over here holding them back. And I'm just going to charge my infantry into these archers. They'll probably break against these boyars, but at this point, there's not really much more that my infantry, you know, can do. Oh, this guy got... Oh, snap! Pulled off his horse and just slit his throat. That sucks. Wow. Oh, this guy's wrecked as well. It looks like he doesn't need a second cut. Oh, looks like one of the generals, Kashyyyk, is in behind these archers. Yeah, that's gonna finish them off for sure. Ooh. Very, very nice battle. Oh, yes, I forgot. Yeah, so the general actually went around and came after 3 onager crews over here. So he's fighting the onager crews. He did manage to break one of them. But now they're in prolonged melee against these hardy Mongol onager crew. Just cutting them down. And then it looks like he's going to try to escape there. I think that he was wavering, yeah, against the onager crews. And oh, and he broke, but now he's back. And the onager crew is quickly trying to chase them. But I think that he does just break, unfortunately. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the battle, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. You can just see the death and the carnage that took toll in the Siege of Kiev. Historically, what am I trying to say? Historically, the Mongols didn't lose very many in this attack, but the inhabitants of Kiev were all but slaughtered. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this battle, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.